That same thing to the other two. We'll just kind of pull that through the flour so it's good and coated right in there. And then what I want to do with the egg is in front of the egg here, or I should say next to the egg here, what I've got is I've got some shredded Asiago cheese and I have some chopped parsley. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw them, or some of them, right into the egg, just like this here. And what we're going to do is Milanese style from Milan, Italy. What that is we're going to make a little batter, almost like a tempura to dip that chicken in right into. And I'm going to give that a little kiss with the edge also. So now, let's get our pan fired up. And I'm just going to hit that pan with just a little bit of olive oil blended with canola. And I do that because the canola has a better heat temperature. It can handle the heat a little bit better than the olive oil can. So I got a nice blend of extra virgin olive oil and canola oil because the canola stands up better to the high heat of sauteing. So I'm going to take these cutlets now. Now that they're dredged in the flour, we're going to sit them right inside this seasoned egg wash here. And yeah, you're looking for the other half of it, right? There's no breadcrumbs. No, there isn't any breadcrumbs. Because once we get this pan good and hot and that oil is ready to fry, we're going to drop these cutlets right in there with just the egg skin. It's just going to put it right in there just like that. So what I want to do is that how do you tell when the oil is ready on the saute pan? When you want to pan fry something, how do you tell when it's ready? Best way to tell is take a pinch of flour or breadcrumbs or whatever you're using, just put it in there. When you see it start to move around, you see the action going on there, it's pretty safe bet you're ready to go. So you want to make sure you're controlling that temperature and it's not too crazy because you don't want to burn it either. So that being said, we're going to get these chickens right in this pan. And I just put about maybe 2 tablespoons of oil on the bottom of this pan just to get it good and hot, and we want to pan fry these. So I'm going to take this cutlet, drop it right in the pan. You can hear it starting to come to life. That's perfect. It's not too hot, but it's hot enough to give it a nice sear. Do the same thing with the other two. Get these guys in there. See how I'm moving them around? Just be very careful of that oil now. Remember, you're working with hot oil, so you got to be careful. And we're going to put this last cutlet in there. We really just want to brown it up on both sides. And then we're going to finish this in the oven. And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to start to build the sauce using that same oil that we seasoned the chicken in. All right, these babies are ready to flip. I can tell just by the side. Look at the golden brown. That's what you're looking for there. You're looking for that nice golden brown texture there. Oh, look at that. That is perfect. Milanese style chicken breast right there. Rock and roll. And what I've done is I've done some other cutlets up ahead so I can feed the army that I have for a family here. And we're going to go ahead and take this. Now I've got the oven preheated at about 350 degrees. And I've got the cutlets in here. Once they're ready here on both sides, got a nice color here. We're going to finish them in the oven. Now I know you're probably thinking, oh, wouldn't they be better in the sauce? Yeah, they sure would. But when you're making them enough for 4, 5, 6 people, you want to make sure that you have enough room in the pan. You don't want to overcrowd the pan either, because part of the pan fry process is to make sure that there's enough room for everything to cook. So we've got our cutlets here. So I'm going to splash them with this here white wine right here. We're just going to give it a little kiss on the top of white wine. And we just really do that just so they stay moist, they don't dry out. And we want to make sure that they stay nice and juicy after they come out. So we're going to put them at 350 degrees. Now we've already started the cooking process, so they won't take any time at all to cook. Probably give them about 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll get right into the sauce. Alright, so let's get right into it. We're going to talk a little bit about the sauce here. I've got a couple of key components, key ingredients that are going to go in this sauce. And you're going to see the sauce vary in a lot of different ways. A lot of people just put capers and lemons. Some people put a little parsley. We've got a whole bunch of, we're going to run the gamut with flavor here. I got some garlic, I got some onions diced, I got some parsley chopped we're going to throw in there. These are capers here. The caper is a pickled bud from a sassafras plant. And it's got a very pungent, distinct flavor. You can't not notice when you do have it. You definitely know when you eat it. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go get my pan hot here. And while this is heating up, I'm going to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about piccata. One of the biggest misconceptions is that piccata comes from Italy. It really doesn't. It does come from Italians, though. It comes from the Italian immigrants that migrated over here to the United States. What happened was they all migrated to the same type of neighborhoods, and you have northerners and southerners trying to create meals for their families. So they used what was readily available with the pantry that they had. So piccata was actually created using northern influence items and southern influence items. For example, The Milanese style chicken that we just put in the oven with the egg coating like that, that's a Milan. That's the northern region of Italy. Whereas the lemon and the caper, that's more of a Sicilian thing, which is the southern region of Italy. So as you can see, it was created sometime in the 1930s, and it was done here in the States, not overseas. So this is actually more of an Americanized dish, but it is definitely Italian influence, there's no question about it. So the pan's good and hot now. Let's get rolling on the sauce. We're gonna go ahead, I've got a little bit of oil, still that residue oil from when we fried up the chicken. It's got that chicken flavor right in there. So we're gonna go ahead and get our onions going. We're gonna get our mushrooms going. And let's go ahead and get that garlic in there. And that's our aromatic right there. And I got about a teaspoon of garlic in there. So let's get that love going there. Oh yeah. Who doesn't love the smell of garlic sauteing in the pan? I don't know. All right. So as this comes together, we're gonna let these onions get a little bit more translucent. As you can see, the mushrooms really sucked up that oil relatively quick. They act like sponges. So whatever liquid you have, take that into consideration if you're gonna be sauteing mushrooms. So we're gonna saute this up just a little bit. Then we're gonna hit it with some white wine. And I put probably about a cup of white wine in there. And that could be any kind of wine. Today I'm using Chardonnay. I think the Chardonnay goes well with the acidity of the Chardonnay. We'll talk a little bit more about that when I talk about the wine of the day that we're going to feature with the dish, but I figure we'll keep it the same. We've got a cooking Chardonnay that we're working with here. We have a nice little bit more of an upscale Chardonnay that we're going to drink with later. So, alright, so that wine's really cooking down quick. We're going to go ahead and throw probably, I like capers, so I'm going to go ahead and put about 2 teaspoons of capers in there. And I'm going to put probably about 4 lemon wheels in there. And then I want some juice in there too. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the juice from about a half a lemon. Just be careful of the seeds when you do this. You don't want to get any seeds in your sauce. If I bite down on one of those, boy, it's a dentist visit. Alright, so I put probably about 2 teaspoons of lemon juice in there as well. Now that's all really coming together nice. All that stuff is reducing right down. So then what we want to do that now is we want to hit it with some chicken stock. And I'll probably put about 2 cups of chicken stock in there. And we'll let that simmer down. And as that's simmering, one thing you always want to remember when you're making a sauce